Smell the air, everyone. What is it do you perceive? Dry, dead air? The occasional dust bunny to shoot up into your sniffer? The scent of your questionably old space heater? How about your animal? Or your lover? Your friend, maybe? The mound of candy wrappers by your side? It was just Halloween. All meager normality, that of which concaves your nasal cavity. Mere trifling nothingness. But what is it that I smell, you ask? What is it that this intoxicating aroma that I, this humble YouTuber, can respire? Well, I'll tell you. I smell fuel. I smell oil. I smell gunpowder. What is it that I smell? There's no need to guess. Surely you've read the title. I smell the greatest racing game that has ever been made. No, I smell the best racing game that will ever be made. I smell Jak X. What is it that makes this game shine above the rest? I'll put it simply, this game moves so fast and requires so much out of you at every turn that you're expected to master everything by the end of the tutorial. And I'm only half kidding. This video is more about what I absolutely love about Jak X and nothing more, so gripes will be kept at a minimum. If something really does bother me, I'll bring it up. It's simple. A little organization never hurt anyone, of course, so we are taking this circuit in order, starting with the reason why this game is as great as it is. The gameplay, which includes driving and the vast weaponry at your disposal, and how it feels in today's much more saturated climate. After the gameplay is the second biggest reason to stay and ride the extra mile, and that's the absolutely banging soundtrack, composed by Billy Howardell. A newcomer at the time of the Jak series, a set of games already renowned for their music. Past the soundtrack is of course the fun, high-stakes plot, where we discuss all the happenings in the crime-riddled streets of Crash City and its world-renowned death racing tournament, which takes Jak and company all across the globe to compete for the antidote that will save their lives. Got it? Okay, get ready. Ignition's on. Your race begins in 3, 2, 1. The goal is simple. You have one motivation: to win. Everything else is forfeit. You are competing in an octane-driven blood sport where the only thing keeping you from an early grave is luck, grit, and some skill. Jak X is incredibly stupid fast, which makes it incredibly stupid fun. In good PlayStation 2 fashion, you accelerate your death machine with the X button, you brake with square, and you pull the emergency brake with circle. L2 makes your car do a small hop, incredibly useful for getting over small bumps, and for a quick reorientation. Left stick lets you steer, and R2 is your baby. R2 ignites your car's blue eco reservoir and kicks your turbo into gear. You can gain blue eco through a pickup, or have it restored kinetically through a power slide or a large jump. Your L1 and R1 shall become your best friends too. L1 activates your rear-mounted red eco canisters, which morph into a randomly chosen support device or weapon upon pickup. Your R1, much like L1, activates your front-mounted yellow eco guns, which are also chosen at random upon pickup of a yellow eco power-up. These pickups are found all across the racetrack, neatly assorted in a line, usually anyway. All it takes is a tap and presto, the weapons and turbo is now yours to use. But when will you be using these mighty tools of destruction? Why, in any of the 9 event modes you'll be participating in throughout your adventure. But since this isn't a review, I won't bore you with the details of every event. Instead, let's just get to the good stuff. I'll give you my 2 favorites. Up first with the quintessential mode required in every racing game, the circuit race. It's so simple 6-year-old me figured it out a decade and a half ago. When there's a racetrack, you race around it. All you have to do is get from the starting line back around to the finish line faster than everyone else. Problem is, your competitors are angry and yearning for first place just as much as you are, so they won't think twice about pelting your ride with as many bullets, missiles, and pure balls of first place seeking electric vengeance. Not to fret, however, for you have access to everything they do. All you need is determination and reflexes like a cat to overcome all who oppose. Next is Death Race, my personal favorite. It is pure carnage absolute. You won't find any competitors on this mode. It's only you, a scoreboard, and an ever-responding hail of dummy cars awaiting destruction. All you have to do is blow every car you see sky high, with each and every weapon you pick up. Nail a chain of destruction and see your score increase with the number of cars you chain kill a few seconds within the explosion of the last. Lap the track once and your score multiplier goes to 2, and then 3 on the next. Good luck getting it past that, however, because you have a time limit to get a set amount of score within it. Death Race is easily the mode you want should you crave an ineffable amount of explosions and speed, because let me tell you, around the later points of the game, those multipliers become extremely necessary if you want to get a gold medal. But where do you even go to wage this much destruction? On any combination of the 4 main biomes in the game. Seriously guys, the way the maps work on this game is so smart and has never been done better ever since. Essentially, there are 4 main biomes, each of their own super massive racetracks, that are then separated into smaller pieces. Through this, Naughty Dog was able to create a brand new racetrack for essentially every single race event using these chunks. But don't get me wrong, that can be eye-rolling hearing that, to me especially, but they weren't done procedurally with an algorithm. They were meticulously designed by the dev team, a different track for nearly every single event. They can place you on a track you have already played before, but it will guaranteed be on a completely different game mode than the last time you played. It's a genuinely amazing system. Every section is wonderfully incorporated amongst each other, and it feels like you're learning something new and progressing previously established strategies with every new track variation you play. As I said already, there are 4 main biomes. The first one is Crass City, any crime lord's paradise, comprising of meandering port city streets interweaving with sharp curves and hidden drives that all converge on long strips of highways and bridges. Without forgetting to mention the brutal shipping yards where all turns are divisible by 5, which make even the most precise of motorists weary. The next is Haven City, where the events of Jak 2 and Jak 3 took place. From the sewers to the slums to the business district, Haven City has been converted into the ultimate racing venue where no place is off limits. At one moment, the immense slippery, broken chicanes of the sewer systems can suddenly metamorphose into the brutal sand and gravel of the slums. Great dilapidated condominiums and barriers made of burn barrels direct you straight to the brutalist dystopia of the military district, where what was Earth is nothing but metal plates and tall pylons that serve only to protect, contain, and oppress all within. Not to fret, however, Haven City is not all doom and gloom, because you'll find yourself right in the business district soon enough. Well-lit hilly roads and well-kept corporate icons trace all along the green mediums and past the beautiful spurting fountains. Our next area takes you to Spargus City, the main setting of Jak 3. Winding streets of rock and sand take you through vast residential districts and past bustling bazaars. Not long after, you'll find yourself amidst miles of ancient precursor monk ruins, but don't get comfortable, for it's only mere seconds away from the very ocean itself, where you and your opponents get to lay metal out amongst the brilliant sparkle of the desert coast. The last biome you participate in is the Icelands. Sheer cliffs and collapsed ice caves make up the surrounding terrain of long-deserted marauder civilizations. Through broken-in walls and abandoned villages you ride. Massive castle keeps that used to hold thousands now just as cold and dead as its absent population. Racing through large tundra slopes greets you with great balls of snow that know only to kill all in its stead. Fire weapons into it to pop through or risk a hit and suffer considerable damage, or just simply drive to avoid. That pickup wasn't worth it anyway. So that's where you're racing, all fine and good of course. Don't worry, you'll be able to learn each and every corner of the seamless chunks. The question is if you have the reactions and the metal to go up against your fellow wheelers at the same time. Truth is, you're just as vulnerable as the blood-soaked car speeding next to you, so make sure you have a game plan set in mind for how you're going to get out ahead and alive. You'll be avoiding a large sort of weaponry, specially designed to take you down, starting with the front-mounted weapons powered by yellow eco. As I mentioned before, you obtain yellow eco weapons from the pickup of the same color, neatly placed typically next to other pickups like boost health and red eco. Upon pickup, you have a random chance to get one of 5 weapons. Number 1. The Vulcan Fury. Named after the same Vulcan Fury found in Jak 2 and Jak 3, the Fury has only one function: to riddle your target with holes. Simply hold R1 and watch those in front of you become pure Gruyere. Weapon 2. The Fragmentation Grenade Launcher. With a name this simple, you can't go wrong. One press of the button fires out a volley of explode on contact grenades, but not to worry, for you have 2 more shots right after your first. Timing and position is the key to success with this one. Too early and you'll miss, too late and you'll really miss. Weapon 3. The Homing Missiles. My absolute favorite when I was a kid and still to this day. Like the name says, they're missiles that lock on and home in on targets. But here's a tip from a neckbeard who's played the game since before even middle school. You can fire your missiles early, and they will actually lock onto the closest targets within line of sight. Anywhere else, and they'll flail around and find the pavement. Weapon 4. The Peacemaker. The weapon that everyone, including myself, absolutely despises unless they're the ones using it. If you're familiar with the inferior racing series Mario Kart, it functions exactly like a blue shell. No matter where you are on the track, a ball of lightning aimed only at the person in first is fired. Unless that person loses position, the Peacemaker will reach its target no matter what. This even applies to people in first place who fire the ball. It will have to travel all the way around the track, but so long as you don't die and lose position, it will come back and kill you. And I respect that approach, honestly. Weapon 5. The Supernova. This is a get-out-of-jail-free weapon. Upon acquisition, a countdown occurs starting at 10 seconds. Should you not press R1, you will explode, like a dummy. Should you use it, everyone ahead of you, regardless of what they have in their inventory or currently using, no matter how far ahead, no matter what, will explode. Again, the only catch is that you can't hold on to it for more than 10 seconds. It is incredibly satisfying to use, especially if you just lost a few positions. Of course, this is the most rare item in the game, and you'll really only find it if you're at the very back for extended periods of time. Now, with the front weapons covered, let's talk about the rear-mounted ones. Utilizing red eco, found in pill-shaped containers, no differently placed than the yellow eco ones, these are your defensive items and rear offensive weapons. Weapon 1. The Magno Mines. The name says it all. With one supple caressing of the L1 button, you'll witness greatness shoot out of your exhaust pipe. 3 mines in quick succession fire out your rear and await for the unfortunate passerby. Should someone get close, including you, if on the next lap, forget about them, the mines will latch onto the car and wait about 5 seconds or so until they all explode at once. Weapon 2. The Gun Tower. Is one of my personal favorites. Want to give those less fortunate than you a harder life? Then simply fire and forget. A sentry turret about 6 feet tall will shoot out of your ass and deploy in just about 2 seconds. From there, a steady stream of bullets shall pelt all who are within range. An important thing to note with the tower is that it is better to run it over if you're unsure you're going to make past it alive. It doesn't begin shooting instantly, and will only slow you down slightly should you ram it. Another pro tip. Weapon 3. The Smokescreen. By far the most useless garbage ability to ever stumble off the disc printing rollers. One L1 press causes your car to emit a trailing cloud of smoke which obscures vision. But here's the issue. Your only opponents are bots, and they can see right through it. Smoke vision actually does work on players, by the way. You really can't see through it, which is, good. Weapon 4. The Oil Slick. Is taken straight from James Bond's repertoire. One gold finger later, and you'll have soaked the last 500 meters behind you with slippery engine juice, which causes all behind to instantly start drifting to and fro. Weapon 5. The Blind Drone. Is a tiny little flying tool of death. With an L1 press, this little buddy will appear right out the back of your car and waits roughly 2 seconds to deploy. All it does is follow a line all the way around the track forever, unless it hovers over a racer, in which then it self-destructs. This includes the person who fires it, by the way, and it gets an instant kill. Weapon 6, the attack drone, is a drone that hovers over your car and fires at all who are within proximity. With little else to explain, let's leave off with the knowledge that this thing isn't as good as I wish it was. Weapon 7, the damage shield, is a shield that shields you from damage. Surprise! But seriously, this is easily the most versatile tool in the game, especially for hardcore gamer veterans like me. Activating the shield surrounds your car in a red bubble of concentrated eco, which protects you from literally everything, and I mean it. Gunfire, paint trading, larger jumps, wall splats, and most importantly, it protects you from that mean old Peacekeeper. I bet pretty much all of you haven't played this game yet, but take my word for it. The bots do not mess around. They will get you with that damn electricity. They will, and that shield will be there to protect you from it, if you ever get it. I found it's easily the most rare rear utility, so there's that to not think about. Weapon 8, the Turbo Assist. Lastly, a useful piece of tech that I don't really think was very necessary for the game. Like the Supernova, only the player can use this, and it instantly replenishes your boost gauge, while also providing its own reserve that drains at a fast, steady rate, regardless on if you're boosting or not. So that's your weapons, both front and back. But hold on, we're not done yet. You see, I left out a tiny detail. There's one more eco type that you can utilize, Dark Eco. With every murder you commit, with every point of damage you take, your Dark Eco meter rises until it reaches its max, causing all of your health to restore, as well as increasing the power of your boost and upgrading all of your weapons, both front and back, via adding additional effects and damage modifiers. I've been on this weapon section for a whole page now, so I'll keep it brief. With Dark Eco, your Vulcan Fury gains a damage buff. Your grenade launcher shoots 5 grenades instead of 3, and also has its damage increased. Your homing missiles suddenly fire 4 instead of 2 in one volume, which will guarantee a kill if all of them connect. Your Peacemaker turns insane and will kill every racer it comes in contact with on its way to first place. And your Supernova now kills everyone in the race, not just the ones ahead of you. As for your rear weapons, your Magnum mines are now just one big mine that will kill on contact. Your gun tower receives a damage buff and now fires mini missiles. Your smoke screen suddenly turns incredibly useful. The smoke becomes electrified and will kill all who remain for about 2 seconds. Your oil slick becomes monstrously overpowered, and now will set on fire all who cross it, and will pretty much guarantee you a kill, which means if you set it in a small choke and cover the entrance, you will see kill notifications in the tens. Your attack drone gains a larger attack range, coupled with a damage buff. The damage shield now becomes a death shield that will instantly kill all who will remotely even touch you. And finally, your Turbo Assist functions the same way, except now it disables all of the other racers' boost gauges, which is an immense disadvantage, as boost is your only way to success. When I say something gets a damage buff, by the way, don't take that lightly. Everything becomes considerably more damaged when in dark form. I'm talking time to kill cut in half at the least. And one more thing, once you reach dark form, that's it. You remain in it until you die, or if you finish the race. But remember, dark form does not grant you extra armor, it only refills your health that one time. Now, you know what you'll be doing, where and with what. So now, let me introduce you to the stellar soundtrack composed by a newcomer to the Jak X series, Billy Howden. I hope you love hard rock and metal riffs, stitched together with blood-pumping gritty electronic bass, because Jak X is nothing but that, and I couldn't be more thankful for it. No matter where you are at, be it the menus or going 300 miles an hour down the open highway with a hail of gunfire in tow, you will always have the music by your side, making you feel instantly twice as badass. Seriously, if there was ever a study that needed to be conducted on music's necessity for a video game, I would first slap the scientist in question, and then point them to this game, and Final Fantasy X. And now, after that amazing display of visual and audio fidelity, let's dive into this game's predictable, but ultimately enjoyable and high-stakes story. Jak and company are invited by X, meaning dead, crime lord crew, to a far-off crime capital of the world, Crass City, the host city to the most extreme and deadly sporting event in the entire world, the Crass City Grand Championship for Combat Racing. The gist is, crew assembled a group of racing aficionados with the intention of winning the golden trophy in his death's honor. His daughter Rain took over for the crime lord after his demise, and so convinced the reluctantly newly informed team to toast to her father's legacy, only to have revealed that the toast was laced with poison, a rare nightshade found in the wasteland, whose toxins slowly seep in over time. Coincidentally, just long enough for Jak and co. to win the championship, where crew has arranged for a dead drop of antidote to be administered should they come out on top. Don't come into this game expecting to feel enlightened by the events, but the writing is early 2000s Naughty Dog certified golden. If you don't know any of the acting characters beforehand, you sure won't know them whenever you play it. Jak X goes in assuming you know everyone, and more power to them for that approach. I say regardless of if you know the characters or not, you'll have a great time and can appreciate the cast and all of their phenomenal voice work and delivery. As for the veterans like me who grew up playing Jak and Daxter, who know and love every character like the back of their hand, all you need to do is sit back and enjoy another adventure, surprisingly not about saving the world but instead saving themselves. And that's all the makings for a good and great spin-off. Inching towards the conclusion now, I'll leave you with this little bit of juice. The events that take place in Jak X have all the spellings for a great sequel, but since the series has been shelved since the portable-only letdown that was The Lost Frontier, all the more reason to bring back the boys, even if, honestly, the series could have ended with Jak 3. But man, I am so glad Naughty Dog went for a fun time, that is, Jak X. Conclusion. And so, there you have it. The best racing game ever made, and that will ever be made, that came out 16 years ago. Jak X was always a favorite of mine since I was a mere 5 years old, but I can confidently tell you that nostalgia don't mean shit for this one. I may love my childhood favorites, but there is a reason for that, and I know that better now than ever. Jak and Daxter will always be a great series, and no matter what way the series goes in, or if it is put away forever, I can always find comfort in the knowledge that it was at one point the pinnacle of gaming, for not just me, but the entire medium. Thank you for watching my video. I'm trying my damnedest to get out there in the YouTube verse and make a true career that I can take pride in. So, if you would like to see me go as far as I'm trying to reach, the subscribe button and the like button is all you need to press. Tell your friends about me too. Anything helps. If you have any video suggestions, the comments are there waiting for your input, or if you would like to contact me privately, my email is located in the About section of my channel page. But that's it from me. I'm just Sheen. Have a good night.